OK, we're going to kick off with the Telegraph. What are they leading with?
It says PM will use emergency law to start Rwanda flights. Move comes after Sunak's flagship policy was ruled unlawful by the Supreme Court. I watched the Prime Minister's questions today.
That must be a first.
It is a first. I had trouble finding it, and then I found it, and then I'm watching it, and then and he was saying it was a victory.
Well, that's the way you spin it, you see. Yeah.
Well, he was spinning it.
Well, the thing is, he has, pledged to carry this through from the beginning. I mean, this is one of the things that was flagged up in Suella Braverman's resignation letter. But, it has been ruled to be unlawful, so he's in a bit of a quandary, a bit of a pickle. What does he do about it, Nick?
Well, yeah, there's two countries that are understood to be replacing Rwanda. It doesn't say which. Might be Scotland and Wales. Don't know. But
that would make sense.
Can I just say that that's what I was going to say.
Oh, really?
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Rumored to be, the two countries are rumored to be Wales and Scotland.
Well, great minds think alike, Lewis.
Would have been good.
Nick, what do you think?
Well, it's all very depressing because this whole Rwanda thing, apparently most people think it's not going to be a deterrent anyway, and it isn't functioning as a deterrent to the smugglers anyway. It's going to be legally challenged anyway, so it could run and run, people think, for a year to get it through. And my worry is it becomes like a depressing election issue. Rishi eventually goes, oh, we stopped a few boats, and they're like, yay, and it's just going to be annoying and drag on.
Do you think it's sound? As a concept, do you think it's sound?
Well, the idea of us having to do something about the boats is sound.
Yes.
But I tend to agree with Dominic Cummings, who was tweeting that it's not even the top 100 most difficult problems, and that we could easily stop it if we just got rid of the HRA and got out of the ECHR. And I tend to believe him. I think they're making a lot of this thing, and they're going to claim it's this big victory. And really, the other thing is there's no will in the Home Office to do these things. If you looked at the report from Steve Edgerton today, there's a whistleblower type of thing at the Home Office, anonymous person saying the Home Office they're ideologically captured by wokeness, as we know. They're also just incompetent. They also don't really work much. And also, they are just desperate to block any policy from the government that they see as far right, which is basically any control over migration at all.
This is fascinating stuff, Lewis, because, yes, this was a report, a whistleblower from the Home Office, Stephen Edgerton reporting on this, and from what they're saying, it's completely anti-democratic. It doesn't matter who we vote for or what policies the people we vote for attempt to implement. The staff at the Home Office will just scupper it anyway. I mean, that if true, if that whistleblower's account is accurate, this is a terrifying situation.
Well, first of all, the boats are not the most terrifying situation. I'm talking
about the principle of democracy.
The principle, yeah, of course they're really trying to scupper. But I don't see the British people being that upset about it. I'm a foreigner, I don't understand. Maybe it's something in the British people.
I think people are very upset.
No, it's the same in the US. It's the concept of the deep state, the permanent state, here the blob. It's the same thing.
But I see people in America getting upset about the deep state far more than here. I don't see people.
Well, to be fair, it only came out today. I mean, the whistleblower only wrote today. I think people on either side of this debate, wherever you stand on what should happen with Rwanda with the flights, should be equally outraged about the notion of Home Office staff members just effectively undermining what they're told to do by the government. That should offend everyone, irrespective of your point of view.
You know what? That's such a British concept. Is like there are forces working behind the scenes. There might be forces working behind the scenes, but why isn't Rishi Sunak last year when he came into power saying there are why isn't there a Donald Trump here saying there are forces working behind the scenes?
No, it's actually not a bad question. I'm not so sure about the comparison with Donald Trump, but they've been promising a bonfire of the Quangos for years. They've been promising to clean up the civil service, and now that it has been so captured, as you say, Nick, now would be the time to do it.
Because Rishi Sunak is captured.
Yeah, well, that's true. But also, Dominic Cummings just released a 2.5-hour podcast. I'm only partway through it. But one thing he points out is it's very hard to get rid of these people. Because if you're a sort of normal minister, you can get rid of the 3 people that you've hired. The only person that has more power than that is the Prime Minister themselves. But then they just have so many people to sack that it's so hard to do. And the one time he said they did it with Boris, everyone talked about it being a coup and they were just getting rid of some old duffers. So it's basically incredibly hard to sack people because only the PM has that technical power, and they just don't have time and resources to do it all.